What is up, guys? I am so excited to be with you today. It is February the 2nd, 2020, and I'm just excited to be with you all today. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming to watch this episode of Coffee, Coaching, and Conversation. I'm your host, Kimberlee Deneice. I am an empowerment coach, and I help leaders just like you to elevate their impact. So I'm excited to be with you all today. Do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. I promise you, you won't regret it. You will not regret it. So I've got a lot of big things coming, a lot of exciting things happening. There's going to be some changes to how we do this. And so I'm just excited that we're progressing. As we continue doing this, we keep trying to improve and do better. So let's go ahead and jump in. Today, we are going to be talking about 4 ways to make time for you in your hectic life. 4 ways to make time for you in your hectic life. Do you push yourself to be all that you can be? In your drive for excellence, you may take on so many projects that life often seems chaotic. In the midst of doing it all, do you remember to take time for yourself? Spending time on you is critical, friends. It enables you to feel rested, calm, stress-free, and fulfilled. When you've had proper rest, you can accomplish more and maintain the stamina to continue. On the other hand, if you neglect to make time for yourself, you're more likely to become depressed, stressed, or unhappy. Perhaps you feel that there's just not enough time for you. Somewhere in the mix, you lost any time you ever had for yourself. However, the good news is, with some creativity and perseverance, you can recapture some of that critical you time. All right, some of that critical you time. So I want you to consider using these strategies to reap some rejuvenating time for yourself. All right, are you guys ready? Awesome. Awesome. All right. So, number 1, you want to pencil yourself in. Make time for yourself by adding it as a priority in your schedule. As you fill out your planner, include it along with other important tasks. And stick to the appointment. So, pencil yourself in. Give yourself 15 minutes when you get home. Insist on at least 15 minutes of recoup and rejuvenation time when you get home from work. If you have to lock yourself away from stressors or even family members, then that's what you must do. This time allows you to properly transition from your work life to your home life. I have been doing this for over 20 years. Over 20 years. I did this in college. I was doing so much. I was going to class and I was working internships. I had a work study job, and sometimes I also had a job off of campus as well. So I had a lot of things going on with my schedule. And I can recall in my senior year doing this. I would get home and want to just take some time. I would speak, but I didn't want to mingle. I wanted to go in my room, kind of collect myself and get myself together. Now, at the time, this was over 20 years ago, I didn't really know how to express that. I didn't know how to say that to my roommates. And my roommates at the time would get very offended that I would come home and not immediately spend time with them and interact and be social. But I needed some decompressed time, or else I would feel very, very annoyed and just would be off my game. I just would not be a pleasant person. And although I couldn't articulate that, I knew what I needed. So it's important to know what you need, friends. Give yourself that 15 minutes. And so I want to share with you from my life experience. Don't be like me. Don't be like me and not express to people what you need. All right. Like I said, I wasn't sure how to articulate it at the time, but you can explain this new technique to your family so that they understand its importance. This way, no one feels like you're just avoiding them. A simple strategy is to soak in a bath for 15 minutes. The water will relax you and you'll feel refreshed after a long day. All right. So those are some things that you can do to approach that tip. All right. Number 3, go to sleep earlier. Going to sleep earlier at night will enable you to get up in time to enjoy some morning me time. Just think how pleasant it would be to enjoy a cup of coffee in the morning without having to look at your watch. All right. Last but not least, number 4, take a vacation day. Take a vacation day to just relax and do whatever you like. You don't have to take a trip to take a vacation. Time spent on your favorite hobbies will also rejuvenate you. When you return to work, your renewed energy may surprise you. All right. So at first glance, these strategies may look difficult to implement into your busy routine. A good way to get started with them is to incorporate just one at a time. That way, you only have to adjust to one small change. As you become accustomed to that one strategy, you can add another, then another, until one day you'll find that making time for yourself is easy. Once you learn to make time for you, you'll have more energy and time to enjoy the good things life has to offer. Let's get into our affirmation. Today it says, I am managing my daily routine and regaining control of my life through setting specific goals. You know, we just came off of talking about setting goals last month, so you can go back and browse the channel and you can see the helpful tips about that. All right, but with this affirmation, you are simply saying, I refuse to allow my life to be dictated by the fancies of every whim that comes along, running to and fro, trying to please everyone at every moment. Instead, I choose the order that comes with effectively setting my goals and pursuing them. No longer am I a leaf scattered by the wind. I know what I want and I go after it. All right. I know what I want and I go after it. I set my goals according to my dreams and make them priorities in my daily schedule. I choose goals for every area of my life, both business and personal, and write them down. Then I allow myself time to work on and achieve them every day. All right. So goals are an important part of making sure you make time for yourself throughout the day. Let's recap. Today we talked about 4 ways to make time for you in your hectic life. 4 ways to make time for you in your hectic life. All right, number 1, pencil yourself in. Number 2, give yourself 15 minutes when you get home. Number 3, go to sleep earlier. And number 4, take a vacation day. I want to hear from you, friends. Be sure to comment after you've watched this video and let me know which one of these ways to make time for you in your hectic life speaks out the most to you and that you need to focus on this week. All right. Which one of these tips do you need to focus on this week? Make sure to put that in the comments. I love seeing comments from you guys and I love interacting with you. All right. So we've got our affirmation and I'm getting so excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at our verse. It's coming from Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 and 16. Ephesians 5, 15 and 16. And let me just pull that in here so you can see it. I realize I don't have that on the screen for you. And I know that's something that I normally do. So let's get that up. Ephesians 5, verses 15 and 16, reading from the Passion Translation. Reading from the Passion Translation. All right. It says, so be careful how you live, not being like those with no understanding, but live honorably with true wisdom. For we are living in evil times. Take full advantage of every day as you spend your life for his purposes. All right. So it's important, friends, that we are taking full advantage of every day. That means we are thinking about our time, how we're using our time. We're being wise stewards of that time, and we're realizing that as we spend our life, we should be spending our life for his purposes, for God's purposes. All right. So that's our point to ponder. That's our point to ponder. And then our declaration today simply says, I declare that I am careful how I live. I decree that I will take full advantage of every day I spend my life for God's purposes, because my life is not my own. Because my life is not my own. All right. So I just want to share that with you today, and hopefully you'll take that declaration with you. If you liked the tips that I gave today, make sure you connect with me on Instagram. I will be putting in my stories just a short little graphic that you can screenshot or that you can share onto your stories as a reminder. I'm always happy to come to you each and every week. I am grateful that I get to do this, and I appreciate you more than you know. Before you leave, make sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything that I have going on. Also, make sure you look in the description. There is a link to get a copy of the notes for this episode. All right, a copy of the notes for this episode. So thank you again, friends. Let me pray for us. God, thank you so much for this day, for love and life and your presence in our lives, and we just thank you for an opportunity to come to you again. And we just ask that you would help us, be with us as we are learning more about how we can make time for ourselves even with our hectic schedule. God, thank you. Thank you that we can pencil ourselves into our schedule, that we can give ourselves 15 minutes when we get home. We can go to sleep earlier and even take a vacation day. So we just thank you for this. Thank you for these tips, and thank you for coffee, coaching, and conversation. We just pray that you would just continue to lead and guide us. In Jesus' name, amen. That's all I have, friends. Remember, I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me and agree with me. You know why? It is his will that every need be supplied. You, my friend, are important to me. I need you to survive. Until next time, peace and blessings.